Ms. Fry, seconded by Mr. Kotler, moves that Bill C-273, an act to amend the Criminal Code Cyberbullying, be now read a second time and referred to the Standing Committee on Justice and Human Rights. Debate. The Honourable Member for Vancouver Centre.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's my pleasure again to stand in the House to speak to this bill. My bill, as you know, Bill C-273, is an act to amend the Criminal Code under the heading of cyberbullying. There are 3 sections of the Criminal Code that are applicable here and that are currently applicable. One is criminal harassment, where no person shall, without lawful authority and knowing that another person is harassed, or recklessly as to whether the other person is harassed, engage in conduct referred to in subsection 2 that causes the other person to fear for their safety and the safety of others. And repeatedly communicating this criminal harassment directly or indirectly about the other person or anyone known to them, engaging in threatening conduct, and an indictable offence and is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years. The second component of the Criminal Code that I need to talk about here is the one that deals with Section 298, which is a defamatory libel. A defamatory libel is anything that is published without lawful justification or excuse that is likely to injure the reputation of any person by exposing him or her to hatred, contempt or ridicule, and that is designed to insult the person or concerning whom it is published. Now, defamatory libel may be published directly or by insinuation or irony in words legibly marked upon any substance, and therefore it will signify a defamatory libel. Now, the third piece that I attempt to change is the one that speaks to the issue of false messaging. And it says, anyone who with intent to injure or alarm any person conveys or causes or procures to be conveyed by letter, telegram, telephone, cable, radio, or otherwise information that he or she knows to be false is guilty of an indictable offence and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. Mr. Speaker, what I am attempting to do with these 3 areas is to add one very simple word, to amend the Criminal Code to add using electronic messaging, using a computer to be able to continue to do these 3 prohibited components in the Criminal Code. Mr. Speaker, usually today, if you look at any of those issues, whether it's defamatory libel, etc., what happens is you cannot use a telephone to do it. You cannot print it on paper. You cannot say it to someone else. You cannot say it on the radio. But we now have a new modern mode of communication that is called the computer or electronic media. And people have been using that communications mode in order to do these 3 prohibited criminal offenses. And so what I intend to do is to add the new communications mode, which is the computer or electronic messages, to the Criminal Code. I want to add, Mr. Speaker, it's very important to understand that cyberbullying is not an age-related thing. Bullying may be age-related. Somebody pushes somebody in the school, they call them a name, they talk to people in the school, they make fun of them. This is a kind of bullying we're very familiar with in the playground, in the school. The thing about the new method of communication via a computer or via electronic messaging and social messaging is that the person doesn't have to be any age. This goes on in offices. Your neighbor may not like you. Somebody who knows you in political life or in other life may be just trying to spread information about a person at any age. And the insidiousness of using this mode of communication is that it is there forever. You can be 90 years old and it is still there in social media, in a computer, set there for life, that you are whatever it is these people did that were under the subsections I speak about under the Criminal Code. It also means that students would say to you that in the schoolyard, I am bullied. But when I go home, I know I'm safe, I'm with my family, I'm with my friends, I can escape the harassment and those sorts of things that people are saying about me. Today, it's on their BlackBerry, it's on their iPhone, it's on their computers. It is not escapable. They can travel from Penticton to Bonn in Germany and find that It still follows them every year. So whatever happens in cyberbullying is there forever. And it follows you wherever you go, to whatever corner of the earth, and it can follow you to whatever age. So that makes it a very insidious, dangerous, and permanent form of bullying. So it's a new phenomenon, as we know, and it's linked to advancements in technology. And so you can be bullied by mobile, by wireless, by internet. You can be bullied by sending or posting harmful, cruel text messages or images. You can be bullying by posting sensitive, private information about another person. You can be bullied by pretending to be someone else in order to make that person look bad. You can be bullied by intentionally excluding someone from an online group. It's all about bullying. All kinds of bullying, no matter where it occurs, is about power, control, and human relationships. And its intent is to harass, degrade, inflict harm, and inflict fear. And it's different from traditional bullying in its anonymity. That's another piece of cyberbullying. It's anonymous. You don't know. It's somebody named, Joe at Google or Joe at .ca. And you have no idea who this person is. And so that anonymity is a problem. And the reach of the internet, as I said, around the world, internationally, and over the course of one's life. Now, there are many campaigns out there to combat bullying. Many of them are in schools. What I want to talk about is that this is not age-restricted at all, this type of bullying. Now, recent examples of the impact of bullying that we know about are mostly in schools, because quite often people, adults, don't like to complain. It's shameful for them to know that someone is bullying them. They don't know who is doing it. So they try to hide it, they try to keep it secret. So the data that's been collected so far has been seen in a lot of information collected in schools. And I just want to give you one example outside of the school. Locally with young Jamie Hubley and in the high-profile case of Tyler Clementi in the United States, cyberbullying can affect one's mental health. It can affect one's well-being, one's academic performance, one's ability to get a job down the road. Somebody cyberbullied you when you were 25, and the next thing is you're 50, and you're trying to get a promotion, and somebody pulls this up and says, oh, no, 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 here's what is true about the person. So it affects every aspect of your life. A recent study by Jennifer Schapke at UBC found that especially children do not equate cyberbullying with traditional forms of bullying. And that currently, all of the anti-bullying techniques that we have set up to deal with bullying doesn't work. It works for traditional in-your-face bullying, someone calling you a name, shoving you, pushing you, but that it actually does not work to prevent cyberbullying. So we need to look at this as a real problem. In the study of 17,000 Vancouver students, 30% reported taking part in cyberbullying compared to 12% who only took part in real bullying. 12% only takes part in real bullying because you're identifiable, so they don't do it. But they feel anonymous and they feel safe when they cyberbully, so a larger percentage have been cyberbullying. A startling revelation was that 95% said that what happens online is only intended as a joke. This joking, however, does serious and permanent harm. And again, one of the problems with cyberbullying is that people have no way of knowing if it's a joke or not. They do not see facial expressions in cyberbullying, nor do they see mannerisms. It's just a clear-cut statement. Another difference is, as I said, is the anonymity, and I wanted to reflect on that anyway. It means that anyone today can be a bully because they can hide behind that anonymity. It could be somebody who everyone thinks is a really neat person, who everyone respects, who could be doing the bullying. And the perception that a bully has to be more powerful or bigger or more popular applies only in one-on-one bullying or schoolyard or face-to-face bullying. It does not apply online bullying. Many of the content posted online can follow people, as I said, for the rest of their lives and never goes away, ever, even after their death. So there are serious implications to cyberbullying and ones that can lead to suicide. And I mentioned earlier on a young person named Tyler Clementi. Tyler Clementi was a young gay student who took his life after his roommate at university video recorded his personal relationship with another young male over the internet. Shortly afterwards, Tyler jumped off a bridge. A court recently found Tyler's roommate guilty of a number of offenses, including breach of privacy and a hate crime. And so those types of bullying happen every day. And as legislators, I believe we have a responsibility to lead by example, and that is why I have introduced this legislation that I hope you will all support. It uses existing, it doesn't create any new criminal code legislation, it's just using existing criminal code legislation under the sections that deal with defamatory libel, false messages, and criminal harassment. Now, by adding electronic forms of communication to those sections, it will clarify cyberbullying in the same manner as traditional print, telecommunications, television, and radio are also identified under these headings. Other jurisdictions are beginning to look at how to combat cyberbullying, and this is happening in the European Union now, and actually Nova Scotia is leading in Canada looking at this issue. No legislation can end bullying, colleagues, or cyberbullying, but what this change will do is offer a protection to the victim and decrease the risk of cyberbullying, because people will understand that there is a penalty attached to it. And it takes away the powerlessness that the bully feels. There's nothing more effective than public awareness campaigns, programming in schools, etc. But this bill raises awareness, it is encouraging a debate, and I believe it will lead to a criminal code that is keeping pace with new advancements in technology. I hope you will support this bill, and I want to stress again that this bill is this problem of cyberbullying is pervasive, it is not limited to any age, and it will follow you through the rest of your life, and it is now being engaged in every environment, whether it is in Parliament, whether it is amongst office staff, whether it is amongst friends, community advocates. People out there are engaging in cyberbullying constantly. So I just want to stress that this is not an age-related issue, and I want to stress that it can harm people for the rest of their lives and even until after death. So I want to thank you. I know that there are physical and psychological effects of cyberbullying, but the fact is that it is broader reach than the schoolyard and than the office, and the damage and harm it continues is forever there in cyberspace for anyone to see or anyone to read. Thank you very much.